Hey people, today I'm going to talk about company loyalty, and I have a story about it that just happened last night. Has very little to do with me. Actually, the only thing it has to do with me is it's a coworker. So, it's a secondhand experience, I guess. Whatever. I briefly talked about this lady in another video. She was I talked about her in the video that said contrasting two Karen experiences. She was the work Karen who lied about the guy breaking in. This video is about her being passed over for a promotion. And not only that, but having her hours cut. Now, even though she was kind of a liar, a manipulator, she would play office politics. She kind of sat around. She played solitaire. I'm going to mostly take her side on this because they handled her like she was a barcode, not a person. Now, to kind of cover for her a little bit with this solitaire thing, like she does front of house. There's big lulls in it, and everyone in her position does it. Now, that doesn't make it right, and it also means that me, the guy who's supposed to be back house, actually has to pick up the slack and do both jobs. So I have reason to be resentful against her and other people of the front of house, but I'm kind of leaving that behind because I've accepted responsibility to my life. I'm fine taking on a little bit of extra. I like helping people. That's fine. Side note there, a little bit off topic. But anyways, what happened was the receptionist is leaving, and she's front of house at night. The receptionist is a 9 to 5 steady job, Monday to Friday. And the receptionist previously had her hours cut because she was doing some kind of art program, or maybe she didn't need the money. I know she has a boyfriend who is in graphic design, makes a little bit of money. Whatever the case may be, she was originally Monday to Friday. Then she got cut. She voluntarily cut her own hours down Monday to Wednesday. And then this other person was taking Thursday, Friday, 9 to 5. And that went on for probably the last 7 months, 8 months or so. And then the other shifts she was having was shared with other front of house staff, where she would come in 4 to 5 hours a night, maybe 2 or 3 shifts a week, and cover that job. But she was really gunning for the position that was bound to open up eventually, because this receptionist was kind of her foot out the door, and she wanted to move on to bigger, better things, and everyone wished her luck and all that. So I think that's why this coworker was kind of positioning herself, playing the office politics, saying, oh, well, I've been in a bigger venue before. I've done this. I have all this computer knowledge. So receptionist is going to be on the computer. And she was really kind of sucking up to everybody. And then she wrote a cover letter, a resume, and she formally submitted it. And she was passed over. They went with an outside hire. Someone younger. Maybe it was like an ageism thing. Maybe they just didn't like her. Maybe they saw the ass kissing and kind of got a little bit put off about that. I'm not 100% sure. But basically how they handled it was, without telling her that she didn't get the job and that she's going to get her hours cut, they had her train her replacement spur of the moment. So they gave the Monday to Friday to someone else, and they cut her Thursday, Friday out completely, which she had probably, like I said, at least 6 months, but probably even closer to 10, to be honest, like almost like a year. That was her position, and they didn't give her any notice. They hired someone else. They brought her on. They didn't tell her she was training someone. She basically met the person that was replacing her 2 shifts and then had to train her. She was almost in tears. And she talked to me after a little bit, and she says, well, what am I going to do now? Live in my car? And that's the reality of a lot of people here. I don't know how many people are living in cars where you guys are living, but there's thousands of people living in cars here. They park out in the bush. They live in broken down trailers. That's a reality here. It's it's very cutthroat. It's basically, this whole town is run as a pyramid scheme. People are used as barcodes. They're replaced. It's very American Psycho like. So yeah, she was basically at the verge of tears, and she was feeling very betrayed. And to take the company's position here, for a second, is she kind of did count her eggs before they hatched type thing. Like, she should have had a second job to work as some kind of hedge against this, which is what I'm doing. That's why I have a second job, is so I feel protected from something like this happening. And I recommend everyone to have 2 jobs or 2 streams of income, because it makes you more sovereign as an individual. You're not relying on one source of income, and that's kind of where you get into this feudalism, and then people are backstabbing, playing office politics and all this. She didn't do that. She thought she was in for sure, and maybe it was a little bit of arrogance or short-sightedness on her side. And on the company's side of things, as I'm describing now, they would want to keep her as front of house because she's functioning as front of house, and they don't want to risk losing the opportunity of getting someone very good by saying, oh, well, we're only hiring from Monday to Wednesday. We have someone else that covers it these Tuesdays. That 2 days, this would limit their hiring pool by probably like 60 or 70%. So they didn't go with the inside hire, and I believe that she did try her best. She was a bit of a Dwight Schrute type character. She would kind of complain and she would kind of nag about things that weren't her concern, and that's something that I've done before too at this very job, because I feel like there's so little communication at this job. There's people that kind of make fun of each other if they're not doing enough, so everyone's kind of forced to take on each other's jobs that are on the bottom half of the pyramid, and you don't really get a reward for it. You don't really get raises for it. This is very, very slimly above minimum wage, and there are actual minimum wage jobs or jobs within this pay range that there is less work. Even McDonald's would pay $1 an hour more, and your responsibilities and stress would be much lower. It would be less fulfilling because you wouldn't have all these parasocial relationships with the clientele where you're socializing and talking. So that is a benefit. And I think these people running this organization know that. They know that it's kind of a nice place to work. There's many people coming in with various events and programs that you kind of get to meet. There's a little bit of social networking if you're kind of into that goes into this job. So they're kind of leveraging the niceties of that against the wage, I believe. But yeah, to wrap this video up and end, she was passed over. She was almost crying. Now she has 16 hours cut out of her pay week, and it's starting immediately. They didn't even give her 2 weeks a heads up on this. So now she's basically on the verge of unemployment. Like, she has 2 shifts, 2 5-hour shifts, so she's working 10 hours. She went from 26 hours a week down to 10 hours a week, and she was gunning to get 40 hours a week. So she kind of got shafted. She was played like a barcode, carrot and stick, all that. And it's a little bit ironic because she was always positioning herself to be better than everyone, and that homeless people were the scum of the earth, and now she's on the verge of that herself. So there is a little bit of Old Testament karma in that, but as I say, like, they didn't handle that well, and this is how people are played by employers. This is why people are neck and neck, at each other's throats, competing over very menial tasks. Like, people are being thrown into the snake pit, like gladiator battles, over minimum wage jobs, and it's very toxic. And this is an example of that, and I wanted to share it. I hope everyone stuck to the end of this video. This has actually been one of my better videos. I've actually not stumbled upon so many ums and brain farts in this video. So I'm going to end it at 10 minutes. We're at 9:47 right here. I'm going to post this. I don't know if people are really tuning in to the whole thing. I'm still doing my nature videos. I might do some other stuff, and I hope everyone is having a great life. Thank you.